Welcome in yet another episode in our series Under the Magnifying Glass, where we are looking at the Herbcrafter's Tarot. Today we are going to be looking at number 10 and all the cards that correspond to this number. Firstly, we're going to look into the minor arcana cards, and then we're going to compare them to the major arcana cards that correspond to the same number. We're also going to look at number 10 in general, and we're actually going to start with that. The 10 represents completion and the start of a new cycle. It is a number of perfection through experience. 10 contains all the numbers and brings them to unity and onto a higher cycle of evolution. It represents completion as well as beginnings into new realms of growth and discovery. It is the temporary ground where we review and contemplate then before we move to the next adventure. 10 in all four suits signals transformation. One begins to see the patterns of one's life, past, present, and future, understanding the greater lessons of destiny, karma, and incarnation. The digit 1 in the number 10 represents spark of life or the rod of power, whereas the digit 0 represents soul and karma. 10 also brings new mastership and understanding of oneself and their quest. Through number 10, you become aware of your connection with the divine and that we need to live life in harmony with nature and all those around us. One starts to see and experience joy and abundance in every manifestation one creates. When you arrive to number 10, you have learned to master your life through perseverance, focus, faith, and acceptance. You know life is cyclic and that nothing stays the same except for that light that you follow. If you look into the guidebook, what it says about number 10 represents composts, replenish, and rebirth. In the cards of 10, we have composting plants and cover crops. They nourish and restore soil, so they are the healers of the earth. They root deeply and accumulate nutrients in the dirt as they grow. The top parts of the plants are used as compost teas or are strewn over garden beds. When they break down, their vitamins and minerals are absorbed into the earth and creating a rich environment where other plants can then thrive. 10s come after the 3 mini dramas and are cards of transition. The herbs in the 10s offer the Herbcrafter a chance to stop and refill her emotional and spiritual basket before she begins a new journey. Just a side note here, I'm using her and she because this is how they refer to the Herbcrafter in the guidebook. It is time for the soil to restore itself and for the Herbcrafter to replenish herself. After letting the earth rest, we circle back to the aces, the weeds that are usually the first to grow. The 10s reflect on past accomplishments while anticipating future growth. And now if we go into 10 of air, I will tell you what my observations and my feels were when I was journeying into this card first. So I noticed that there is a scythe, and I know that that represents the suit of swords, suit of air. I know that scythe cuts away fast and fully, so this tells me something is being cut out of your life suddenly and completely. It feels like the plants are overgrowing and actually need to be cut back. So this might represent that whatever is being cut away in our life has to actually end. You can see that there are purple flowers here, and that reminds me of course, crown chakra, which in my opinion suggests that in order to see bigger picture or a meaning to why this is happening, like why things are ending, one has to open their mind and connect to the divine to comprehend this. If you look closely, you can see that there's a little ladybug here, and ladybug to me represents that all this is actually a blessing in disguise. You are lucky that this is happening, but you might not yet understand why. We can see that there's a lot of blue sky here and the clouds are going away and making space for maybe new thoughts, because clouds to me represent thoughts. Also the feeling of that you are completely done with whatever was and now you're starting anew and sky is your limit. I also noticed that there's a lot of green in this picture, as well as in other pictures if you look at them. And the green is associated with the heart chakra. And the heart chakra has been cut away, so whatever you are experiencing will affect you emotionally as well. And then if you look into the guidebook, the first 3 points are: compose your plans and allow new ideas to sprout. Breaking down leads to renewed fertility. Let your studies' life follow. Replenish and begin again. So it is about that cutting away and starting again and let it happen, basically. A large field of alfalfa thrives in an abandoned lot. A small ladybug munches on aphids. The walnut trees stand ground over the lawn. I googled what the walnut trees could represent, right? And on the old Google, I found that they are deeply linked to spiritual endurance and ability to weather hardship and overcome obstacles. Isn't that amazing? It's like literally all the plants in this deck make sense, and sometimes they don't talk about it in the guidebook. They just mention the species and they don't say why it is there. So I highly recommend, if you go into the guidebook and if they mention any plants that they don't elaborate on then later, just Google it and see if they go and weave into the meaning of the card, because usually they do. And then it continues in the guidebook. Renewal follows release. You may have reached your limit. Alfalfa is planted to restore worn out, degraded and fallow land. So rest and replenish so your experience can take flight. Take a break and spend some time in reflection to refresh your love of learning. And see, this word love here stands out for me because love is related to the heart chakra here, or the green, right? So it says, I'm going to read this one again. It says, take a break and spend some time in reflection to refresh your love of learning. Alfalfa is among the oldest of healing foods. You have the wisdom of the ancients with you. And once again, they mentioning the ancients, the elders, our ancestors. And I love that about this deck. Sift through your knowledge and let go of the pieces that do not resonate. Don't be afraid to use the scythe on what you have grown. Alfalfa adds nutrients into the soil as it breaks down. What you have behind enriches new growth. How amazing is that? Like whatever you let go is going to actually help you grow what you actually need in the future. Wow. And then for the crafting point, grow alfalfa sprouts in a countertop jar. Eat them and wait for new ideas to sprout within. Now, if we look into the 10 of fire. So when I journeyed and felt out this card, what I got was, first of all, I noticed again lots of green. Again, this reminds me of heart chakra. And also we see there's purple there again too, like in the 10 of air. So this might be a connection to the divine. And we also see yellow here, the beeswax, which to me triggers a thought on solar plexus chakra, which talks about inner strength. So it looks like a lot has been done. The scene makes me feel a bit overwhelmed, like a lot is going on and a lot has been going on. Look at how much product is there at the back, and they're still making things. We can see a lip balm here, at least that's how it looks like to me. This might be created to soothe cracks in our skin or lips, or maybe metaphorically our soul. There is medicine here spilled over on the table, and pots need to be washed and other things put away. So that to me speaks about that we have done a lot, and now it is time to gather the strength to finish it off and then enjoy what we have created. Or it could also indicate to actually step away as it is overwhelming in this moment. The spilled over medicine could be a metaphor that there is no room for anything more in ourselves. And then if you look into the guidebook, the first 3 points say, there can be too much of a good thing, which is very interesting, isn't it? Stop, step away, soothe yourself. See, soothing, which I also gathered from the lip balm here. Cut it down and it roars back to life. And then it goes, peace follows overwhelm. So literally what I got from this painting as well. You may be overextended. The shelves in this room are full, yet the crafting continues. Rest and replenish so your experiences can take root. Refresh your love of creating. Again, love of creating, green heart chakra. Refresh your love of creating by releasing some self-imposed responsibilities. So it is our choice. And I remember in the Shadowscapes, there is a picture of a person, a deity, whatever, holding the whole city as 10 of Wands. And it says that it is their choice to do this, so it's self-imposed responsibility. Comfrey quickly becomes burdensome and difficult to manage, but it will regenerate after harsh cutting. Even a small amount can quickly flourish into a new plant. Commit to just a few tasks and set the rest aside. Pushing too hard will lead to waste and exhaustion. Do not be afraid to give away some of your creative ideas. When you harvest too much, let what you cannot use feed the soil for next season's growth. I love this. When you harvest too much, let what you cannot use feed the soil for the next season's growth. The whole deck is all about sustainability, isn't it? And I love that they bring that to the front. So, and then if we look into the crafting, I chose one point, which is write down what you need to release, roll it tightly into a comfrey leaf, and burn the leaf when it is dry, which is very witchy and pagany, and I really like that about this deck, that they offer us this type of ceremonies and kind of like, not spells, but witchcrafting, I'm gonna say, as well as herb crafting. And now if we look into 10 of Water, so my journey into the card gave me this. It feels like whoever is enjoying this tea and looking out into the garden to these beautiful red clover flowers is being in the moment and enjoying the moment. It looks like a very comforting scene, makes me feel secure and safe and well looked after. The pink flowers make me think of the top of our heart chakra, which is associated with unconditional love in a nurturing way, which is perfect for meaning of 10 of Cups. That is in Rider-Waite-Smith associations, of course. 10 of Cups is all about emotional fulfillment. We also have a lot of green color here as well. And again, this is heart chakra. And the green part of the heart chakra is associated with opening your heart and reciprocity. So giving and receiving love. Clover immediately makes me think of four-leaved clover, which represents good luck and also wishes coming true. So all the positive energies are found in this card. The sun is shining through as well, and this brings life energy, optimism, and warmth to us. We can also see the rainbow here, right? And this is again seen on the 10 of Cups in the Rider-Waite-Smith. And the rainbow can represent many things. So Google what can rainbow represent, and let me tell you. So it can represent a path to a gold treasure chest. It can represent a bridge between worlds. It can represent having hope or signs from the spirits that they are rooting for us. It can also represent spiritual awakening of some sorts, and also harmony and joy. So we can also notice here that there are dried clovers on the windowsill. So to me that represents harmony that will last for more than a day. One should be also grateful that we have such an abundance of the plant or the herb here. And then if we look into the guidebook, the first 3 points say, taste the nectar of deep nourishment. Serenity rises from the roots of gratitude. See? This is literally what I got as well. You need to be grateful because there's such an abundance here. And then the last point is compost breeds contentment. And then it continues, serenity is born from nourishment of the soul. Experience the joy and stability of your dreams coming to life. So remember, one point about the rainbow is that it represents joy. As the deep taproot of red clovers restores the soil underground, the bright flowers delight humans and animals above ground. When you feel refreshed and happy, freely share your good fortune with others. Radiate peace and abundance. And this makes me think of the Everyday Enchantment Tarot, because Poppy speaks about the 10 of Cups in the same way, that you have things, you are happy, you feel the fulfillment on all the levels, but also it is important that you share this with others when you have it. Radiate peace and abundance. Red clover needs to be planted only once to flourish on its own. So trust your wishes to unfold without interference. Again, your wishes unfolding, coming true. And that, I said before, to me, the connection to the four-leaved clover. Isn't that interesting? The tea is as delicious as it is healing. The road to well-being can be filled with harmony. Again, rainbow, harmony. It can be this good. Oh man, I really love this card. It really speaks the message through the picture. I chose one crafting point, which is dance barefoot with gratitude in a field of clover to find serenity, because gratitude is also a big point in this whole deck, and it's very important in our lives generally. And now let's go into 10 of Earth, horsetail. So what I got from this picture, the first thing that I noticed was, of course, the basket. The baskets in this deck represent the suit of Earth. And also, the baskets speak about generations passing down knowledge and also other things. You can see loads, abundance of green, horsetail here, and again green color, so that is again heart chakra, receiving and giving love, right? An abundance of horsetail, so enough for everyone plus more, so it speaks of physical abundance to me. A very safe and secure feel to this picture is what I got from it, and being grateful for what Earth and ancestors have given to us. And if you look into the guidebook now, the first 3 points are ancient magic, modern medicine. Ancient magic, modern medicine. Find strength deep within. The wisdom of the elders takes roots in the bones of youth. Again, elders. See, there is a big connection to the ancestors and elders here. Okay, and then it continues, you are safe and secure. And this is literally what I got from this picture, the feeling of security and safety. You are a well-established member of your community, so know your work supports and sustains others. Horsetail both gathers nutrients and removes toxins from the area. Understand your connection to the greater purpose of life. Pause and connect often with all you have been given. Now this is very interesting. Horsetail is a relative of a 400 million year old plant. You come from ancestral giants. This all has taken place before. Sometimes in order to be effective, you learn to grow small and multiply. So I'm guessing that the relative of this plant used to be huge, and then through time it adapted and it became small and more of it, so it multiplied. Nourish an underground network. Mindfully gather from resources that have carried generations. Horsetail is favored among biodynamic gardens as natural fertilizer. The future can build on the strengths of the past. I love this. The future can build on the strengths of the past. And if you read Rider-Waite-Smith, you will know that the 10 of Pentacles is all about that, is generational wealth, right? Something that has been created that's gonna last for generations to come, and can be grown on that as well, can be invested, can be multiplied, just like these ones, these horsetails. It's so amazing. So if you look into the crafting now, visit a marsh and make a gratitude offering to the ancestral giants of modern horsetail. So again, the importance of gratitude here. I connected this number to more than just 2 major arcana cards. So of course I connected it to the Wheel of Fortune and to the Sun card, but then I also connected it to the Magician and to the Fool, because 10 is made of 1 and 0, right? So if you look at these cards now, so if you first look into the Wheel of Fortune, which is like a mandala here, as well as the Sun and the Fool, they're all basically mandalas. So color wise, we can see that the Wheel of Fortune fits or goes with all the cards in number 10. We know that the Wheel of Fortune symbolizes change and cycles, and 10 is all about that transition too. It is also about finding stillness in the midst of change, so staying centered in the midst of change. So connect well with fire, 10 of fire and 10 of water as well. Change means moving away from things that don't serve us anymore, so that would then connect to 10 of air as well. And if we look at the Sun card, which is very beautiful in yellow, and again we can see there a shield that relates to the ancestors, right? Which reminds me of the 10 of earth. So we know that the Sun is about happiness, vitality, joy, which weaves beautifully into the water, the 10 of water. St. John's wort repairs skin from trauma, which connects us to fire, as Comfrey card talks about stopping and soothing yourself. And then also healing power of light from the Sun connects this beautifully with the water, because it talks about the medicine of the clover and the tea from clover. And then, like I said before, 10 is made of 1 and 0, right? And the 1 is the magician, sunflower. And the magician is all about planting the seeds, which we can see here, and manifestation. It feels like the first step after the 10's end, because we know that the 10's are that pause before we start a new journey. And it connects beautifully to 10 of earth, that is all that has manifested and is carried on through generations. Our souls remember the actions and experiences from the past lives that were left unconquered, and now are joined with the new beginning here, which is number 0, that manifests yet another cycle of experience, bringing us closer to our destiny and purpose. And if we then look at the Fool, as we mentioned before, it represents the spirit, which is very well portrayed in the dandelion, because we have flying seeds, and that reminds me of spirit. And the Fool also represents the light of divine star, and the dandelions here, the flower, reminds me of that star. You know, it's very bright and shining and positive and healing. When 0, the Fool, joins with number 1, our own unique star is born within us and holds all the answers for us. As 1 joins with 0, spiritual perfection is achieved, and life and light are united, which all our 4 cards here show perfectly. So I will leave you now with this. Next time we will start with our major arcana. I can't believe we actually finished all the minors already. Yes, I hope that you enjoyed this video, that you learned something new, or that you saw something that you perhaps haven't seen before when you were studying your cards. Please let me know in the comments below if you maybe noticed something that I haven't noticed. If you find any other meanings in these cards, it would be so amazing to hear that. I hope you're well, and I will see you all again soon. Bye bye.